Hey folks, welcome to River Rat Gear Review, where we talk all things whitewater and the gear you need to get on the river. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Fireside Outdoor Pop Up Pit. This baby weighs 8 pounds, costs 99 bucks, and I want to know if it can replace my old fire pan. Let's take it out, set it up. Okay, we're outside now. I'm just gonna set this thing up just like I would on a normal river trip and see how it goes. So, it does have the carrying case with the zipper, and zip that. I do have my fire blanket on here, so that actually fits in the bag, which is really nice. Pull that out. Basically, got the side panels. This is the heat shield, and this is the steel mesh that the wood actually goes on. So, just set up your frame. And these are a little bit finicky, but once you get used to them, it seems to go fairly quick. Then you want to put your mesh on. And be a little tricky because it is kind of tight. But when they're brand new, it'll loosen up after some use. Alright, so that's your basic setup. You can slip the heat shield underneath. You can hang it up on there. Basically, it just helps keep the ground from, helps reflect the heat away from the ground. So if you have it set up on some concrete or your lawn or a beach or whatever, it just helps protect whatever's underneath. So the real benefit of this fire pan is that it is light. It's 8 pounds. It's worth noting that the steel mesh here, they say you get about 50 fires out of it, or about a year is on the warranty. So depending on how much use you might get out of this, you could be replacing this mesh every 2-3 years. So just keep that in mind. Because of the mesh bottom, it does get a lot of circulation through the fire pan. So you've got increased combustion. The wood basically just reduces down to nothing. There's no ash. There's just powder left over. So if you're used to doing river trips where you got a big ash can and you've got a bunch of wood or a bunch of ash left over in the morning, and you got to dump that in the ash can, there's really not a lot with these pop-up pits. So it reduces the volume of the ash by quite a bit to where you might not even need your traditional big ammo can for ashes. So that's another big plus for me, is the weight, the reduced ash volume, and then also the price point on this is going to be $99. The Cambridge one that I'm using previously has been, I think it retails for $350, so it's over 3 times the cost, and it weighs 45 pounds where it's 8. So it's a no-brainer really. This thing fits in a dry box. You don't have to strap it on a cooler or find a spot for it in the bottom of the boat, or anybody can bring this up to camp. It's not like you need the big strong guy to do it. A little kid could bring this up to the top of the kitchen. So I do have the grill grate. We'll go ahead and set that up and take a look at that. So this comes in its own bag. I do wish that it came, or that it could all fit in one bag. I might be looking at trying to come up with something that'll allow me to just keep everything together. But you do, so you get your grill grates, your 2 side pieces, and then these pieces, and these actually just go on the ends, and then they'll screw on and tighten down. I found that it's easier to do this ahead of time, instead of trying to put it on there. So once you get those tightened, then you can go ahead and pop them on. And this thing's square, so it doesn't really matter one way or the other how you put them on there. just go over the posts, like so. And then your grate can go right on there. And the cool thing about these grates too is that you can, you know, since it is kind of a removable system or independent, you can use one and maybe start your charcoal here, or while you're cooking over there, or move some stuff around. If it's a little hot spot, you can actually slide this down here. So it is kind of a neat system. And you can change how you might want to configure it, which is cool. They do say that you shouldn't use any kind of accelerant. So if you're doing charcoal on here, you don't want to use lighter fluid, you don't want to use any sort of gasoline to start the fire. Honestly, you don't need it because it's got so much oxygen underneath. You light it with some paper and it just goes. One of the biggest considerations I was trying to figure out with this fire pan when I was looking at purchasing it and then using it on my river trips was that how am I going to approach Dutch oven cooking? And with this grate, you can certainly start your charcoal on here and then put them on the grate. However, I did find a cheap workaround. These are just a little 12-inch pizza pie pan off Amazon. They're like $2. So you can put your charcoals on there. It also gives you a nice sturdy, solid bottom to put your Dutch oven on. So that'll sit right on there. So between either using that and then maybe a charcoal chimney, basically you can accommodate for any sort of shortfall that you might have while trying to do Dutch oven cooking with this particular fire pan. And it does have a little bit of a fiddle factor. After setting it up multiple times, I have noticed that, you know, it's just got a lot of different components, whereas my traditional setup is fairly straightforward. There's like four pieces. This has more pieces, but it's definitely lighter and certainly a lot cheaper. So I am really excited about this thing. I've got a trip coming up here. We're gonna take this thing out and see how it does. So that's the Fireside Outdoor Pop-Up Pit. If you found this review helpful, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one.